It started with a pancake. One quiet morning, Tesla dropped a video online. A sleek, human-shaped robot stood in a spotless kitchen, flipping golden pancakes like it had done it 100 times before. Its voice was soft, calm. "I can work 24/7. No breaks, no mistakes." People chuckled. It felt like a tech demo, one of those futuristic Elon Musk things that made the internet buzz for a few hours. But underneath the laughter, a quiet shift had begun. Within a year, the Tesla bot was everywhere. Factories filled with bots assembling products faster than any human ever could. Grocery stores swapped out cashiers for bots that scanned, bagged, and even made polite small talk, scripted and smiley. Hotels had bots delivering towels and taking room service orders. At first, it seemed incredible. Jobs that were dangerous, exhausting, or tedious were being automated away. Efficiency soared. CEOs held press conferences, grinning ear to ear, praising their new zero-error workforce. But out in the real world, people were feeling something very different. Marcus, who worked at a warehouse in Indiana, had been clocking in at 6 a.m. every morning for 15 years. He was proud of his job. It kept food on the table and gave his day's rhythm. Then one day, his shift manager handed him a letter, not because he'd done anything wrong, but because a Tesla bot could now move more boxes per hour and didn't need health insurance. His hands shook as he read it. He had 3 kids, a mortgage, no backup plan, and Marcus wasn't alone. All across the country, and soon the world, millions of people found themselves pushed out of jobs they once thought were secure. Truck drivers, janitors, delivery folks, customer service reps, paralegals, construction workers, even nurses and teachers. Some were replaced by a single bot, others by fleets. For a while, it seemed like only the ultra-creative or ultra-wealthy were safe. The emotional toll was staggering. For most people, work isn't just a paycheck, it's identity, purpose, a place to belong. Without it, days began to blur. Depression and anxiety spiked. Men and women who had been proud, capable, and active suddenly found themselves idle, not because they lacked talent, but because the economy no longer had a place for them. Suicide hotlines saw record-high calls. Domestic tensions rose, and children watched their parents drift into something that looked a lot like hopelessness. Social structures buckled too. Small towns that relied on manufacturing or logistics collapsed almost overnight. Empty shops, boarded-up buildings, local diners with no more morning regulars. The community spirit, the one that came from working, chatting on lunch breaks, sharing rides, just faded. Cities tried to absorb the unemployed, but they were already overburdened. Even education began to feel pointless. Teenagers asked, why study accounting or mechanics if a bot can already do it better? Colleges struggled to update curriculums fast enough, and in households where both parents had lost work, kids were now growing up watching their role models struggle, not just financially, but emotionally. The financial impact was brutal. Millions found themselves without stable income. Governments scrambled to introduce universal basic income, a monthly stipend just enough to cover rent and food. But it wasn't living, it was surviving. For families used to a steady income, it felt like being reduced. No vacations, no eating out. Birthday gifts became a luxury. And then there was the quiet, unsettling fear. What if this is permanent? Still, not everything was bleak. There were moments of light. Hospitals saw fewer medical errors. Emergency bots rushed into disaster zones, saving lives in ways no human could. Elderly people like Mrs. Alvarez, living alone in New Mexico, had daily care again. Her Tesla bot reminded her to take medicine, played her favorite old music, and listened patiently to her stories of the past. But even that raised questions. If bots could care, serve, build, drive, teach, and even create, where did that leave us? People marched in the streets, holding signs that read, "We are not obsolete." Some smashed bots in anger. Others gathered in town halls, asking local leaders to ban bots in certain industries. Slowly, the conversation changed. Governments began drawing lines, limiting bots in human-centered roles like childcare, therapy, and education. Businesses, once obsessed with automation, began hiring back people for their warmth, creativity, and empathy. There was a growing realization: machines may be flawless, but they aren't alive. We started valuing emotional labor again: the gentle touch of a nurse's hand, the warmth in a teacher's voice, the way a barber remembers your story. Jobs that seemed small became sacred. People retrained not to beat bots, but to do what bots couldn't: connect. Artists, counselors, community builders, environmental restorers, these roles began to grow. Slowly, painfully, humanity found a new place. The Tesla bot didn't vanish. It stayed, helping in ways we needed. It built homes, delivered medicine, cleaned up oceans, but it no longer tried to replace us entirely. Instead, it stood beside us. And maybe that's where it always should have been. It all started with a pancake, but what came after forced us to ask: in a world where machines can do almost everything, what makes us truly human, and how do we hold on to that? And that's all for now, guys. What do you think about the Tesla bot? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you in the next video.